This is The Situation Room, the home of hard-hitting political commentary and penetrating insights about the state of the nation. This is a talk radio experience like no other. The Situation Room, a place for hard truths, debates, and elevated conversations. The Situation Room, witty, political, engaging, deep, controversial. In the room, we have C.T. Muga, researcher, academic, seasoned political observer, a fountain of wisdom in these politically uncertain times. Ndu Oko, Nigerian by birth, Kenyan by choice, communications expert, Pan-Africanist, a truth seeker and believer in people power, and Eric Latin, agent provocateur, the man in the chair, seasoned journalist, news hound, a man who believes in punching up, not down. This is The Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
8 minutes after 8. How you doing? Welcome to the third hour of Kenya's biggest conversation. Bang in the middle of the month, the 15th of November, 2024. Kati mwezi. Right? Yeah, but I have salams for you guys. Yesterday, tulipoachana na wewe sitting. Pale ambapo tulikuwa tunauza ile plot.
Ndio wale jamaa walikubali kuinunua bana.
Jamaa achana bana.
Okay, tuachane nao lakini tuambie mazuri lakini.
But I met a guy called Victor. Right, and he says say hello to Ndu and CT and Radia, and says I listen to you guys, and you've been talking about Tala being a close companion. Like, let me tell you my story. Okay? So Victor has incomes. But the incomes are not usually coming at the end of the month, right? And this happens with many people. They come happen apale, but usually around the mid of the month, that's when his income starts consolidating. But then the bills don't consolidate at the middle of the month. The bills consolidate where? At the beginning of the month. So he's got those ones: power, water. He's got internet connection that he pays for Wi-Fi. He's got streaming services that he pays for, right? And then he says, recently I heard you guys talking about the Safaricom all-in-one, so I got into it. So he's also brought it to the beginning of the month. So he has all those things. So right now, his monthly, those early monthly bills are about 8 to 10K that fall between the 1st and around the 7th of the month that he has to pay.
Kala amesaidia
rent ameambia landlord wetu tutadili na wamekubaliana arrangement. Sasa unajua hizi ende kwa Kenya Power and now he says what he's been doing is that Tala is one that comes through for him at this point, at the beginning of the month. So he goes to Tala, gets the money, pays the bills. He knows he has 60 days, but he knows within 15 days I'm going to clear this, right? So when the income starts coming, he starts repaying his loans with Tala. So Tala now becomes the one thing that is also stabilizing his financial planning, right? When you talk about companion, Victor was like, you guys talk about it like, it's one of those stories. Go and tell my story.
It's true.
This is how Tala is my companion. It comes in for me at that point. And I bridge and I'm able to repay it on time. And he says he has actually grown his credit limit. Now he's at 35K.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
He can borrow up to 35,000 shillings. He borrows and repays on time. Constantly. Like that. So Tala is the companion that you need for your life. All right? And think about it today. Download it today. Where? On?
The Google Play Store, just on Android for now. Google Play Store, so you can download that and get into it immediately.
Kabisa. We've also been talking about retirement, you know?
Yes, we have.
Taifa Pension Fund.
Yes.
Tell us about it, Taifa Pension Fund.
Well, there are pension schemes and there are pension schemes. Okay? Now, one of the beautiful things about Taifa Pension Pension Fund, it's a scheme and it's a fund, is first of all where it is nestled. You know how it is, you hear, okay, these people look after your money, and then suddenly you find your money is looking after itself. And where it has gone to look after itself, you're not even clear. Taifa Pension Fund is Kenya's largest. Yani, ukipima zile ambayo ziko, ini largest. Okay? The financial services that it offers you are appealing. Consider, if you are a member of that scheme within the pension fund, God forbid something happens to you and you pass away, you will get 3 times the annual amount that you have 3 times. Not once, 3 times. It doesn't mean that you will forsake whatever it is you're supposed to receive at the end of your savings. No, that you will also receive. But more importantly, it's a fund you can talk to. It's a fund you can ask things about. It's a fund you can explain your needs to. It's a fund that will meet you again at that point of need that you have. Now, saving for a pension doesn't begin when you start getting old. It begins when you are young. With whatever you have, you start there. Starting is what enables it to grow.
To grow.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Very good. Very good. We're going to have a conversation about, the issues with the rollout of SHA and SHIF countrywide and what that means and how that is impacting people. We'll be joined by the MP for the Glory constituency, Gadoniwa Mushomba. She's on the way. She got stuck up somewhere, but she says, apologies. Please ask the people to just bear with me. I'm on my way. I will be there very soon. As she does that, let me tell you this story that you read the headline in the paper.
Yes.
Lawyer denied chief's job for being overqualified. A man who was denied a chance to become a chief for allegedly being overqualified has gotten relief after the High Court quashed the appointment of his competitor. Abdullahi Omar Abajilo, who holds a bachelor's degree in law, had lodged a petition in the Employment and Labor Relations Court at Meru, where he argued that his constitutional rights were violated during the recruitment process of the chief of the township location in Moyale sub-county, Marsabit. Abajilo, through his advocate Mugambi Kiogora, said he was among those who applied for the job, but Asha Ibrahim Boru was picked. Abajilo said the process in which Boru got the job was unconstitutional, illegal, unreasonable, irrational, and constitutionally unfair. No, constitutionally unfair. In the matter before Justice Onesmus Pakau, he had sought an order restraining Boru from assuming office, exercising the power and functions of Chief Grade 2 for township location, or drawing any salaries or allowances. Kiogora said his client was among other candidates who applied for the job after the ministry advertised the vacancy, and the panel that did the interviews recommended Boru, leaving him feeling aggrieved since the process and the appointment was marred with corruption, tribalism, nepotism, among others. Abajilo claimed Boru was not qualified for the appointment as per the advertisement and the schemes of service. He said she possessed an academic grade of D+ in KCSE, secondary education, and instead of a C plane, and she hailed from another location. He told the court that the principle of fair representation was breached as the minority community was underrepresented, and that the winner was a sister to the assistant chief of township sublocation, and the community was dominant. He contended that although he emerged the top candidate during the interviews, Boru was unfairly recommended for appointment, an act which amounted to abuse of administrative authority and discretion. He says the action the respondents violated his right to equality before the law. However, the PS and the Moyale Deputy County Commissioner told the court Abajilo was just trying to mislead the court that the panel had declared him the top candidate, and the results of the interviews were never shared anywhere, save in the court. In the decision, Justice Makau said it's clear that the process lacked openness as there was no material non-disclosure. The recruitment process was tainted with indirect discrimination against Abajilo and other applicants. So the judge quashed the appointment of Ms. Boru.
This is now our constitution in action.
Buana.
Alive and well.
Buana.
It raises a question that actually requires examining. How do you determine overqualification?
That's the thing. Throughout this, I've not heard where he's actually raising the issue of I'm overqualified. I see him raising the issue of she is not qualified because the requirement was a C and she got a D. But I'm not seeing where he says I was discriminated because I have a bachelor's degree.
No, he didn't raise that issue. Who raised the issue of his overqualification?
Unless it's also part of his suit, but
it wasn't covered in the paper, in the newspaper.
Yeah, Faris Mutembei's story did not capture that. I don't know. Hapo ndio maneno iko. Hapo ndio maneno iko.
You see, how do you overqualify for a job?
That's the thing.
Wouldn't it be a good thing to have somebody who had a wealth of information or wealth of experience than to do that job? Or are you saying that usually the fear comes about with how you're going to have to remunerate them or compensate them because you feel as though they have this wealth of experience, so you think that they're going to demand a lot more money from you, so you say, actually, you know what, we're looking for somebody who's less qualified than you, so we don't have to pay them as much.
You know, the job of a chief and the remuneration is not something you're going to negotiate. It's predetermined. You know. It's not as though if you come with a PhD, they're going, that PhD is yours.
Yeah.
That degree, it's yours. This is what
do
we
you mean
pay.
the minimum?
Yes, that's it. And this is what we pay the chief. That's it. But more importantly, wouldn't it be nice to have a chief who actually has studied the law?
This is what I'm saying. You could actually benefit from this wealth of experience that this individual has.
Yes.
Why would you say that they're overqualified? The overqualification, if you want to put that in inverted, is that it could actually be of benefit to you as the hiring organization.
What is being spoken of here is something that's fairly daunting. They're actually saying, we want people who are not very qualified for this job.
That's what you're saying. We're going to lower the mark.
Yeah.
We're going to lower the mark. And then you expect to get fantastic output. I mean, have we not got it backwards?
Something isn't quite
There's
right.
something wrong. Something I miss here. You would think.
Before Gazani gets here, let me give you another story.
Yes.
So yesterday, cabinet, all of them met.
Shouting.
-1. There's no interior minister, there's an acting one, right? So 24 ministers are in office. President William Ruto chaired a cabinet meeting at State House, and he was briefed on the impressive stability of the macroeconomic situation in the country following 2 years of deliberate fiscal management measures.
Which country?
Kenya.
Oh.
The Kenyan economy continues its strong recovery from past global and domestic challenges, achieving a robust growth. Members of the cabinet were informed that inflation, which reflects the increase in prices over time, had declined substantially to 2.7% last month, down from a high of 9.6% in September 2022. Why September 2022 is important? Because this is when the administration came into office. Okay? This is the lowest inflation rate since 2007 during President Mwai Kibaki's tenure, and it aligns with the target set in the Kenya Kwanza Manifesto. Consequently, the prices of various types of food, particularly maize, beans, peas, have decreased over the past year. A 2 kg packet of maize, which was retailing at 176 a year ago, is now selling at 124. I think the presidential communication team wanted to say maize flour, right? The cabinet was also informed that foreign exchange reserves at the CBK are at an all-time high of 9.5 billion shillings. It's an increase of 2.4 billion shillings, equivalent to 4.4 months of export cover. We're doing well.
Okay.
The meeting was further told that the country's economic growth has remained steady and ranks among the highest globally. Kenya's economic growth is ranking amongst the highest globally at 5.6% in 2023, with an estimated growth of 5% this year and next year. Regarding the exchange rate, the cabinet noted that the shilling has stabilized at 129 from the high of 162 after appreciating by nearly 20% earlier in the year. This appreciation led to reduced external debt service. Interest rates are beginning to decrease, which will result in lower domestic interest rate costs, creating fiscal space. On the revenue side, KRA's tax collections have grown by double digits. Tax revenue increased by 11.5% in the year to June 2024. The food situation in the country, stable. The cabinet was told that due to the government-subsidized fertilizer program and other support measures extended to farmers, food security situation in the country has stabilized. As a result, most households can access basic food requirements. Currently, the country has 95.2 million 50-kilogram bags of maize, 8.8 million bags of beans, 10.4 million bags of wheat, 2.1 million bags of rice in stock. Store. We are in the years of who? Of Joseph. On sugar, the meeting noted that Kenya has, for the first time, produced enough sugar to meet local demand. As a result, no sugar will be imported this year. This achievement is due to subsidized fertilizer provided to farmers and improved management of the sector. Rona, mambo everywhere you look, even on labor, they say, we have job opportunities. We have now sugar, we don't need to import sugar. Tuko na mchele. tuko na inaitwa mpunga, tuko na mpunga, tuko na mahindi, tuko na, kwa nafaka imewekwa. Mambo ya shilling imestabilize 129. Nakumbuka Ruto akisema around 125, something like that, right? It hit there. 129. Okay?
This is the land of
inflation,
milk and honey.
we are back to 2007 days.
Okay.
My friend,
Mambo iko bamba.
if you are like the Catholic bishops now here coming to say, I don't know what, are they not in Kenya, these
Can
Catholic
they see?
bishops?
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Those bishops from the Kenya Catholic bishops should come back home.
Okay.
Because clearly they have left the country.
They don't understand.
They don't get it.
Really?
No, they don't get it.
So the poverty levels in Kenya have gone down considerably, has it?
Well,
There's
yes.
food.
The macroeconomic indicators are showing
You
that we're
asked
heading
the
in that
question that the
direction.
poverty levels have gone down. The answer is there is food in the barn. That's
Well,
your problem.
actually,
Easily
that
accessible
isn't
and affordable. Okay?
It's like saying, is the sky blue? Then you say, there are cows in the field.
All right.
Whether it's answering the question or not, it's not
All
the
right.
problem.
It's like telling
I'm
me
just
that-
giving you information.
Okay, so I've asked a question like telling me there's money in the bank.
I mean, what
So why am I
else do
saying
you
there's
want
no
to
money?
hear?
Okay, what I'm referring to here is money in the hands of those who need it most, and money in the hands of those who have businesses that we keep being told are shutting down. Money in the hands of those who employ people who are reducing the number of people that they are employing.
Can I answer you? The Kenya shilling remains stable at 129 to the US dollar.
The macroeconomic indicators are pointing and 5.6% growth of the economy this year,
This year.
among the highest in the world.
All right, so we are saying that when you have one of these highest in the world indicators, then your people should be poorer, people should be losing their jobs constantly. That's a clear sign that everything, that the macro thingy which you mentioned has stabilized, with the shilling which has also stabilized, and there's food in the barn and there's money in the bank. So,
Bro, it doesn't
and-
have to make sense.
interest
We're just telling
rates-
you.
and interest rates have
Interest
also,
rates have dropped.
all-time low from the history of mankind.
2007 days.
Yes, and this is the indicator that people are losing jobs. They don't have enough money to afford to live. So all these things equals this. Is that what you're saying?
Bora tumesema.
I think the issue is there anybody who has contrary data to this?
So we've told you.
Because there's one thing, right? There's one thing to actually push back against it, but push back against it and say, no, inflation is not 2.7%.
Oh no.
Push back and say,
There's no food
we
in the
don't
barn.
have this number of bags in the barn. Push back and say, no, interest rates are not coming down. Push back and say, if there's anybody with contrary information, then we
You say
push
that the dollar has not been at 129 for the last 90
for me,
days.
it's not an academic exercise where I have to push back with statistics and data. All that we are being told is supposed to equal a better life for Kenyans. And I'm asking the simple question, is there a better life for Kenyans with all that statistics and all that data? The answer is no, it is not. So, what are the statistics for?
City. This is
Therefore,
a
make me
light.
fire those sticks.
This is a light.
Yes.
It's at the end of the tunnel. You are only 50 meters to the end of the tunnel.
Are we
As
the right
opposed
tunnel?
to 2022, when you were 50 kilometers to the end of the tunnel and there was a dim light. The light at the end of the tunnel is brighter. The distance to the end of the tunnel is shorter. Stay alive.
Amen.
Get to the end of the tunnel.
We're in different tunnels,
And
clearly.
my brother, I'm just trying to.
Gathoni wa Mushomba, MP for Githongori. In which tunnel are you? Are you in this tunnel?
Vipi? Vipi?
Fiti.
Fiti. Mimi sisemi poa. Hapana.
Si poa.
First of all, kwanza simu nipatie nafasi niwasalimie wale
Carry on, please.
wanatusikize. Mimi nimewauliza vipi?
Oh, vipi. Okay, sawa.
Nasema poa.
Haikuwa wholesale.
Poleni nimechelewa. It's raining in Nairobi. I live in the constituency kule Githunguri huko Kiambu na nimechelewa kwa traffic. I'm sorry about that.
That's
My
perfectly
sincere
all right.
apologies.
Okay.
Nimepata mkiongea maneno ya vile tumetoboa.
Yeah.
We've succeeded.
Things
Are looking.
Serious something.
can only get better.
Those numbers you're reading sounds very nice.
But the cabinet was
Are
informed.
the
of this
figures the
yesterday.
same when it comes to interest rates for those who have taken loans in the commercial banks?
They're reducing.
What are the numbers like right now?
Which numbers?
I mean, what is the interest rate for a commercial loan?
The CBR rate has come down by, what was it, 0.75 basis points? So your banks should also be reducing the interest rate.
Have they reduced?
By the same margin. Some have, yes.
You know, I campaigned on the slogan of Pesa Mfukoni. So after all those numbers have been mentioned, how much is in my pocket? That's what matters. How much is available in my pocket? You see, as we speak about those numbers, I'm worried that pensioners are yet to receive their money.
Which pensioners?
Pensioners. Kenyan pensioners. They are owed about
Those
22 billion shillings. They've not been paid. As you read about those numbers, please remember, counties are yet to receive their money. And by the way, huko kwa counties kumekauka, hakuna pesa.
Because you parliamentarians are now refusing to
As you
accept
read
how
those
much they
figures,
want.
allow me to tell you,
Members of the National Assembly are stuck on reducing the amount of money that should go to counties.
as you read those figures, I've told you counties are yet to receive any money.
Yeah.
As you read those figures, pensioners are yet to get their money, about 22 billion shillings. As you read those figures, HELB beneficiaries, students, university students are yet to receive their money. So for me, what matters is what is in the pocket, what is the residue of all those statistical, as City calls them, numbers. What really matters is what is in my handbag and my wallet.
So where's the disconnect?
I mean, we are so technical and we are so theoretical. We need to be practical. We need to be real.
Reality is based on something. There's a reality that's in figures that can be proven, tangible, very well calculated. You can see how they're derived. And then there's a reality of the import of what that is. Right? So for example,
like you said,
if our economy has been growing at over 5%, for the last X number of years, are we arguing against that?
I don't understand.
Are we saying that our economy has not been growing?
Erica, I'm a layman, but a layman interprets it this way. How many people have lost jobs in my neighborhood? That's my layman interpretation.
Absolutely. So should we be asking the question, Weshimiwa, that we're saying here, if you had a family unit, for example, that was in the doldrums 5 years ago, both parents were out of work, they were not able to make anything come in, right? Then as you go along, one gets work, the other one has started has opened a small business because they got some capital injection, right? They were eating 1 meal a day. And at that point, we gather the children, maybe try and pay school fees. Then over time, we see that because of this job and because of this small business that has started, what do we see? We see that now going from 1 meal a day and being in arrears school fees, we now see that the arrears in school fees has reduced. We also see now that instead of eating 1 meal a day, they're eating 2. So what we are saying is, in as much as the numbers have changed in the country, we should be able to see that now people can be eating the 2 meals a day, that the arrears in school fees would be reducing. But we are not seeing that.
That's what I'm saying. I'm a layman. For me, I just want to see the results near me, not on books and on laptops as figures. I just want to ask, how many people in my neighborhoods have lost jobs? I mean, simple.
I keep reminding everybody.
How many hospitals right now? That is why you see the Catholic bishops very annoyed.
Yeah.
How many, for example, mission hospitals are yet to be paid their arrears of 200 plus million per hospital by NHIF? As we speak right now, that is why the bishops are very annoyed, because they are the people, they are the trustees of those hospitals. And the hospitals are owed billions by NHIF. So when you tell us there that inflation has gone down, and you're telling us that you have more money in circulation in terms of what you're performing better, where is the disconnect? Where is the money that is supposed to be paid to these hospitals? Where is pensioners' money? Because they are yet to be paid. Hello? Where is help?
You know, Gadani.
Students are still to get money.
Gadani.
They will not sit the exams.
They are not sitting exams, by the way.
The cabinet is saying that there is stability. The first thing that you do with a patient is stabilize
because they
the
live
patient.
in Karen.
Stabilize the patient.
Don't understand what's happening in
I will
Tawara.
remind you again, between 2002 and 2007, When the Mwai Kibaki administration was doing the same kind of thing, we are stabilizing, we are doing this and the other. The then opposition leader, Uhuru Kenyatta, once asked, those things that these people are saying, where is the money in people's pockets?
He asked.
People could not feel it. And many turned up at the ballot in 2007 and said, this Kibaki man, wapi jina ingine, leta ingine, tuweke hiyo. See? Time cometh.
Eric.
Me and you were in the same studio, and you know very well, Eric, that time 2006, 2007. You know very well, Eric, that even as we asked where was the money, that was the time, the period when new job entrants, like let me say new graduates getting new jobs, afforded to import their own cars. That was the boom. That's when Thika Road became smaller for us or congested, because there were so many vehicles imported by new job entrants.
And it's also the same period of time when banks became kiosks.
Yeah.
Where every corner you turned, there were people begging you to take a loan.
And that's how we bought cars. Me and you, Eric, knows very well.
So who was asking a current question?
I used to drive what type of a car? Because you know me very well, Eric. And that's the only time we were afforded to go to any bank and got some loans.
Take up loans
and we were competing
cars
on which car to buy in the newsroom. Because I'm from the newsroom, for those who don't know me well.
Let's take a break.
So let's not talk about figures. Let's talk about reality.
Reality, eh?
Yeah, reality.
You're here so that we talk about...
What do you think that student who is stranded in the university somewhere is thinking or feeling when we are talking about that things are okay and they are yet to receive their help rations?
He's thinking there is hope. Let's take a break. 26 minutes to 9. Gadhoni Mushomba is our guest. She's the MP for Githunguri constituency. She's currently still the chairperson of the Constitution Implementation Oversight Committee of the National Assembly.
And the chair of Coffee Caucus.
And the chair of the Coffee Caucus. Siti, send it to a break with the day's proverb.
Yes, that is what I will. Our proverbs for the whole of this week have been from the Republic of Kenya. And the proverbs have been in the Kiswahili language. And you, our esteemed guest, will ask you to tell us what you think the interpretation in English is, and also what you understand the proverb to mean. Lisilo na budi hutendwa.
Lisilo na budi hutendwa.
I'm not alone.
I am floating.
Lisilo na budi.
Can I guess?
Perfect.
You are still doing what is not intentional. You're still doing what you didn't intend to do.
Yeah, that's actually very good. So what do you think the proverb, what meaning were they trying to glean from this proverb?
Sometimes you even add weight to some statements that you really don't mean.
You're actually right.
Like now somebody responded to the bishops and telling them that they are not liars, but the bishops are saying you are lying. This
is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.